All right. What's up, yo? Welcome back to the channel. It's good, man. It's good. All right. Today we got with me Darnella Wade. How's it going? What's up? Introduce yourself. You know,
I'm down the way.
yeah. What do you do?
I have been in probably the first level of the nursing field for 20 years. I've been a personal care attendant, helping people with disability. And um, on the flip side, I've been an advocate for the people. I think I have different campaigns in my life at different times that accumulated to my spiritual resume. Let me put it like
Okay. Okay. Spiritual resume. That's
that.
nice. Advocate for what? What have you been?
Well, at first it was a welfare rights committee.
Okay.
My girl cousin uh, introduced me to it because she'd be like, "You're always wilding out, girl. You need to come over here and talk with us to these legislators, Angel."
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I was like, "Yeah, because somebody need to talk to them. They really do not get it. I don't understand why there's such a big disconnect." And at the time we lived in Mount Airy. I'm like, we only 5 miles away. How come they not? We live walking distance from this capital. Their world ain't that different.
Right.
Why they don't get this? And then sooner or later it turned into at first it was me advocating for health and human services for women and children, and watching with a close eye what laws started to come across the table. Like these laws that these people will make laws without no concern.
Right.
We need to pay attention to this because their opinion keeps changing what happens at my house. Somehow I'm connected. That's how it happened.
You felt like you have a civic duty to get up and do something, huh?
Because it was a policy that was affecting me.
Mm-hmm.
Like they would the 5 year, you got 5 years of welfare. What they really meant was cash. That was a strategy. And that's for a lifetime. So you couldn't relocate and get another 5 years in another 52 states. I thought that was like, well, that would kind of push the communities around. If my 5 years is up in Minnesota, you have a right to relocate and get another 5 years in another state. I mean, I see the economy keep going, but I also see it supporting their children that's in that minor age through their life, regardless, as a government. But to restrain them and give the mom 5 years and then tell her there's no longer any support in this country for her and her children, I thought that was inhumane for me. And I have children, so that affected me. Why? Because look at what life looks like. Why would an entity that will forever take from me tell me at the most critical point in time of our needing of assistance when a child is 1 through 5 and 5 through 10, that's okay to support a family for 10 years. It wasn't like they was giving us much. And then there's other stipulations that make them give you less. You never really get more on welfare, but there's a way you could get less.
Right.
So that was another thing that made me get up and say, hold up. So when they kicked us off of welfare, about 2 years into me being self sufficient, I joined the medical field, and being a personal care attendant, you have power over your time, you have a choice over who you're going to serve, your location. You know, it's personal between you and your client, how this is going to work, what pleases them. There's not a whole lot of overhead, and you can get enough money to start to pull yourself up, you know. So another thing that made me come back to being an advocate is because they thought it would be all right, since you working for whoever PCAs working for family members, you should get a 2.6 deduction in your income.
So you get less money for helping your family
really
in need.
Know exactly what this letter is saying.
Right.
The letter. But when you get your check, 2.6% really rounds off to about $300
Wow.
less. Time out. You mean to tell me somebody up there in that bougie, is this PG?
No.
Somebody up there in that bougie slave built building thought that it was okay to use their pen as a weapon. I don't know if they was trying to save the state money, but when you kick people off of welfare and we're finding our own self-sufficiency, for you to take anything from the people, that's just madness. I had to go back up there, learn how to testify. I'm like, yeah, testify. You don't just testify in church. You go to the state capitol to testify what the new church looks like to me. Because there's the spiritual resume. This is like, yeah, you have to tell them. They'll give you 2 minutes. At times I've took 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was another time they called me back to the Capitol. And I was like, yeah. In addition to learn myself being a young mother, my children, they have to be taught. The education system I came through was whack. I'm being, forced out here into a international competitive monetary system. If it was just state to state, we'd all be doing well with the American dollar. But we're a country compared to the rest of the world. So here, this cup has to be $50 because it's from America. But over there, they understand they only get a quarter every 30 days or however their economy is set up. That this same thing, they're like, no, but this is 2 cents here. This is like balance to the economy that they live in. Ours is not balanced to the economy that we live in. Our minimum wage, they fought for it to be $15 an hour. But let's just say what it is. It's probably about $9.27 an hour.
Is that like a waitress wage without tips?
For them to come up to 15, anything lower than that is already disrespectful. Because when you go to the store and you see a pack of meat for $8,
that's half an hour.
Exactly.
That's your
40 hours a week, and this pack of meat by itself is a percentage of my income. That doesn't make sense.
So if you buy $40 or 40 items for $8, you just spent your.
That's it. There is no more to that check. There is no, but you know what? That check was 40 hours out your working. These are 40 hours on the clock. This is not including the 10 or 15 hours it takes to get there and the gas that it takes to get there, or the money it takes on public transportation to get. There's all of their stuff before you even get to work.
Right.
When you get to work, they take out of this for your check. This, first of all, if you're taking anything out of anybody's check regarding medical, there should be universal health care. However, and wherever, we're all the United States of America. There is no big pot that we all get to be like, yay, we got it. We saved up, crossed the little red line. All right, now what we gonna do with it? No, there's always, well, we might have to close the government down. The largest military budget on earth.
Mm-hmm.
And they always threaten you and say, you know what? We're gonna close the government down, or we're gonna have to stop Social Security. Oh, that's theft. You can't do that. You can't accumulate, and then at the end of it, because you failed to lead, tell us, the people, you're gonna suffer.
Why do we just sit back as the people?
Because our government is held hostage because we're ignorant of. I guess it would be ignorant of that old Constitution and that new Constitution, which I'm yet to figure it out because it's very well hidden. But there is what I call a facade of mastery.
A veil.
And we're born into it. We're born into it because it's instinct to get a birth certificate, social security card, we want to buy a house. We're doing what we would instinct, what everybody else is doing, we're following the flow. So once they lied and chopped it up and lied and hid certain things, like when we look into the IRS and how it's supposed to be initiated, first of all, okay, is this historically correct that it was improperly established? If the answer is yes, it's to be disestablished.
Tomorrow.
That's it. I don't want to keep saying there's a conspiracy when it's not conspiracy. These are historical facts.
Yeah, that is a real big question I have. Like, what is truth? Because a lot of people, I guess.
If you are a slave, you have one truth.
Okay.
And if you're a master, you have another truth.
And what's the slave truth?
The slave's truth is only going to go as high as the perspective of the master.
And what's the master's
truth? The master knows how to ascend higher than the slave. Did he make it to godhood? I don't know. He got you on a lower level, so it feels like he higher up.
Okay.
Maybe the guy that knows how to create a microphone is a god. I don't know how to make a microphone. I think he could think higher than me. But at the same time, does he know how to make a baby? I was just asking. Some of us gotta pour our excellence from another realm. I'm not the one who created the computer. But I do have children.
So most of America, I guess, is stuck in a slave truth.
Right.
What is America's slave truth?
Follow their rules at all times without question. That's the slave truth. The master truth is they have never been in control of anybody that didn't fear them. That's it. That's why so much history is missing. They're not going to tell you how many rebellions really were successful. They're not going to tell you how many boats were sank.
So I don't know how to exactly phrase the question. Like, what is America then? Basically.
Well,
yeah, because
for me,
mm-hmm.
I have been well, I have to say, a roller coaster of a journey when it comes to certain personal thesis based on the amount of research that can be attained.
Dad, I have a question.
All right. Yeah. It's all right. America. Yeah. So, what is our current situation? What is America's current situation? What does it look like? What is it looking like to you?
It really the 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 mystery is it really was prophesied in the Bible that a lot of the world anticipated this country. But they anticipated its greatness and its fall. The greatness of America. I know everybody always, want to come at the Jesus with the J.
Mm-hmm.
He was a slave ship. That was like one of the best jokes I heard. Jesus was never a real man. He was a slave ship. Do you really think that if a Messiah ever was to come or was preordained to come, because the Messiah, let's just not use the word Jesus, the Messiah and his expectations was never Americans. It was Judah. It was the Jews, the Israel. That story was told over there. This country didn't exist. No, that is our lineage keeping up with us because our God will always give us a way back to him. So what they thought they was, you use it for evil.
Okay.
God turned and used it for good. Because when we were sent, our ancestors, how we even wound up in this country is by way of, the story when your brother sold into slavery by your other brother, Egypt. And then when the story repeats, this great place, Egypt, would exist again. So first it has to happen for the blueprint of the scriptures to be written. And then the reality of it will come. Just like the blueprint of the Messiah's life was written. He didn't come and say, I'm Jesus. He didn't. He came down and then, like if they said, and he set his cup on top of the napkin. But he is just living life like he's just, but they like, no. See, right here, the Messiah is supposed to do that, and you did it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you did something else the Messiah did. This right here, this what you did. They was comparing him to the book already.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't come in the book, created itself all of a sudden, and all of us are reading it all at the same time. No, that book been here. He has to come. That's why it's so far ahead. Moses, Yeah. What is this? So you're like, well, Christ ain't here yet. That's what makes it a miracle. He's gonna come here and fit these scriptures with his everyday life that he lived. Yes. Okay, that's how we're gonna know he's the Messiah. Right? So if that happened in real life and the Messiah came, passed the test, mind you, the Jews are going to fail because they deny him. Because the Jews deny his existence, the Gentiles get a chance for God to be God. This is time in between. They get stuck where they are with the 1,000-year war, and all of us who was sold into slavery is on the outside of the Old Testament looking at it exist, and we not suffer from its consequences of lack of faith.
So at the same time, you basically just said African American slavery was a deliverance from the Middle East's suffering.
But I don't say things that can't be confirmed in the scriptures.
Okay, but
that is the truth.
But right, okay.
And in order for me to say that, I have to say,
wow,
why can't you say
that's
that?
actually mind blowing though for
No,
it to be put down.
It's confirmed.
Right, okay.
But you know how it's confirmed?
How?
Because remember when they sold Joseph, he became second in command in Egypt. Their country is going to need ours. So I'm going to need you all to become second in command. This famine comes. They're going to need ours. Whatever it is in America, they think dividing our dollar is what it's going to be. No. There's going to be a famine in the land. America's still going to have food. The food of God. But we are Joseph. We had to be sold out to get out. They got stuck in the Old Testament. And Christ came by way of a Gentile's hand to redeem those that you took away from the land. I can never say that I'm their God and let them just go onto the earth like I'm not their father. That Bible followed us. That was our God, like a flame in the day or a cloud at night. Them white people did not understand what they was doing. Okay. And we redeemed some of the Gentiles because of that. Even though it's a lot of time, madness in between, because then there's the mystery, this, the black science, the white science, the Solomon stuff, the Illuminati, all these people taken from these scriptures of kings out of their tombs and spoils of the war, and they just withholding our real true history. And then America manifests. So all of the rest of the people around the world, the empires around the world, they have stories of who we are and what we are and what this
So we need a global reform.
No, we're in a global denial, state of denial.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we need a global reform. Everybody needs to drop the secret classified files and all of the
give us what's ours,
museum
and we'll give
secrecy,
you what's yours.
Right? I guess
translate the Bible, renew the canon, because the Ethiopian canon.
Okay, but then that's where the argument really gonna come down, because some people's gonna be like, yeah, that's not real. So
you know why it seems like it's not real? Because these people are hiding that they can time travel. Okay. When we realize we can time travel, that Bible, everything is gonna be like too possible. No, that could probably happen because you know this, and no, you're gonna start realizing how far into technology we are, and that Bible being like the microchip that's plugged into this simulation. If it's a simulation, it's biblical. It's not X and O's. It look like X and O's to people that's leading themselves into insanity. That's what I think. You are a scientist. That means you don't have a fence of a fence to regulate your thoughts. You just can keep going into space.
It's like
Now,
it's like spacewalking, no spaceship.
It's like we've been to the moon, but we ain't never been back. Okay. So Kanye can't say he's Semitic without getting in trouble.
Right.
The basketball player, he can't say he's Semitic without getting in trouble. Big Cannon got in trouble for saying he's Semitic. All the brothers that say we're Semitic get in trouble. But at the same time, y'all let the world say and display Jesus as a white man. That ain't anti-Semitic. Is that? I just want to know, why is that okay? But this over here is not okay. You don't never get on people. Don't even start know the Jews should be like, no, you cannot say Jesus is white anymore.
So basically, if you believe in the Abrahamic God, you're a Muslim, or you're no. This is how I'm saying, like, this is how basically they portray it. You're supposed to be Islamic or Muslim if you believe in the Abrahamic God, because the Jews are the Bible in this side.
Right.
Basically, because it's still the Abrahamic God. They both will argue it and tell you that part is the same. Mm-hmm. Still same creator. Yeah. But when you read it, you understand, or you get that, no, okay, the Israelites are these people here. This is what happened to them. This is their movement.
The Israelites people were there. This is what happened to us.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. Like going throughout the whole story, right? Where they spread it out. What
happened to each tribe, and what happened to the world.
There you go. There you go. Basically, right? Okay, right.
So the tribe of Joseph is the one that wound up in Egypt, of which America is.
Okay, so America is the new Egypt, the biblical Egypt.
Right. Okay. Now start the story over. You got to take the 10 tribes and sell to one brother.
Okay, but now wait a minute. At the start of America, you're starting the story over? Or are you starting the story over now in 2020?
No.
Or, okay.
When America became a factor,
right,
is when Joseph was king, second in command in Egypt.
Okay.
He came here and created this Egypt-like country with all the technology that you've seen. When they colonized it, they took over our tribal land. That's the secret. It belongs to, if anybody, Joseph is the tribe that came here, which is why they keep trying to hide the Egyptian the writings in the Grand Canyon. Right. Mm-hmm. But see, what's happens now is, because Joseph is Egyptian, he goes under those names. And I try to tell people, our heritage, our ancestor is from the creation of his tribe. His wife was Egyptian. They became us. Us became the Native Americans that they call. They're us over here.
Branches of the tribe, basically.
Ham's blood. Us and Egyptians over here is us first, and then the natives under us. That's the tribe. I believe the tribe of Benjamin.
So Ham, Shem, and Japheth
is the new birthright fathers.
Okay.
because there's no more no more Adam and Eve's kids. They didn't all make it. Now it's just Noah and Noah's kids. So it's Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Yeah, say it because they always got a problem with the J.
Right, right.
But they tell you those who breaks down to what? For the black man in America, they don't want us to fit. We know we don't fit in the Yefet category because that's when you look into it, you see who they are.
Okay.
They want Ham, which they feel like was put under the curse, and they're like, look at what's happened to Africa. That makes sense. And Shem's birth line births Christ through it. So they're like, that's us, the Jews. Okay. But they're like, but you black in America, y'all must be Ham because y'all under a curse. No, we're under Shem because we came first. We're going to be the Messiah generation. We're going to be the ones that was pushed out first to save. We're the ones already left. In the book of Deuteronomy, people always be like, well, the 400 years. Joseph been gone 4,000 years to America. The 400 years is when y'all did it again to the brothers and sisters who landed in Virginia in 1776. We been here. Y'all did that from the beginning of time, from the blueprint. And then the manifestation came. So for you to see Joseph's story, first you gotta do it.
Okay, so basically, this is what it's like there's supposed to be a Old Testament, a New Testament, and the Testament or the Newer Testament is basically coming, being written, being laid out.
You mean the temple? There's a first temple, and then they fought over it, and then the second temple was built over it.
Mm-hmm.
Then that third temple is what they talking about. We're gonna rebuild the temple right now.
But okay, but no, I'm saying like with America becoming Egypt, biblically would be from the Old Testament, right? And then being portrayed out in the New Testament.
Exactly, because you have to consider Paul's story. Now the Romans is in control. In your time dispensation, where are we in the Bible? The Romans weren't always in control. Sometimes it was Persia. America even exists. So you got to read that far into the future.
Where did America exist?
Where?
Yeah.
It existed in the Old Testament. But they was telling you it's going to come.
Okay.
This beast out of the land and the sea. And that's this country. This country. Based on it being taken over. Because Joseph was second. Remember, it has to manifest now. Now we've been here 400 years. We've been here 4,000 years. Y'all been here 400 years. The new Arab slaves, the African American, the ones that can say, I'm from Nigeria, but I live in Chicago. You are an African American. I am native to this country. Why? Because I ain't never been from Nigeria. And you'd be like, oh, well, your blood said you have. Okay, well, that's good. But according to the reality, this is what's real. The reality is, without pricking my blood, trying to see where my mitochondrial genes is coming from, you should just look at my story and accept that I believe my grandparents were born here too. And my grandma's gonna say we've been born here as well. Here's a catch. When you look back on what was in America, you're gonna see things like that don't make sense, never was gonna make sense, and they damn sure hope you do not research it, because we ain't gonna teach it to you in school. What did old America look like? The closest thing we can get is Do you remember those world fairs? Conspiracy. We built them in 2 years, and then we built them with fiberglass and wood, and we did this great and creatively, and they're monstrous buildings, and some of them look like they built out of marble, but don't worry about it. We tore down. That was our country. That was our technology. Joseph was the one who invaded Egypt. He came with the how to bury and make the water, and he came with the how to save the grain. He came and with the dreams and the interpretations, and he was telling, bro, you're gonna die in 3 days. He was just doing his thing as a man of God, which is who he was destined to be. Period. He's the blueprint. And when they sent Joseph from the continent of Africa, he came and made America great. Absolutely great. That's why it was more worth for them to destroy all of the old majesty of our country, because lack of innovation means you could charge me. That's it. We're not going to teach them no free energy, none of their spiritual family healing, none of that stuff. They're going to come to the hospitals. We're going to make them sicker. They're not going to figure out that this berry plus this root equals longevity of life. Oh, no, absolutely not. They're here to kill, steal, and destroy, and that's all the Gentiles. That's it. When we realize the Gentiles, the ones that have no law within themselves, they were the ones they still conquering the world. They're still doing their thing. I don't think that we could have been taken over ever if the Winchester gun wasn't. I think it's the creation of the gun that changed the ability for slavery to be implemented in large. Because I look at the black man like, y'all can't even do them with them bare hands. Oh, but you can with tools and weaponry that they haven't been exposed to yet. Yeah, when you look at the world fairs and the conspiracy behind them, basically, to me, in a nutshell, they came in mass numbers on ships they damn self to our country. And that's why there's so many stories, they call it myth, that this large community of XYZ disappeared and they were gone. If you look around the world, there's a whole lot of little stories of white villages that kind of seem like the people just disappeared. Yeah, they came over on ships, discovered the country, the newness of the land, the amount of space available, the resources, and I'm sure it wasn't a whole lot of people to take over, because it was a quality community. It was a quality community. It was the gift. Zafna Panea. They put it in the cartoons and we say it all the time, but our blackness is mixed with the royalty of Egypt in America. And that's what makes them possibly, if you want to say, Americans. Because you have to give me the African that made me African. And his lineage somehow led to greatness, which is to our own horn as being blacks, as being unnamed, lost travel Israel. We wound up being the greatness, the black man, the black race, that unnamed race. If you say black, you be like, yeah, I know I'm black. No, but they're like, no, that unnamed race. That unnamed race, that's what black is. It's still not named. They're like black, they're dead. Black, they don't exist. Black, that's what's real. That paperwork they keep reading for law. So as long as that's real, I'm black, I'm non-existent. I haven't been named yet. But I'm like, but we do have a name. We, according to this blueprint, is the 10th brother that was sold into slavery by the elder tribes that existed on earth.
So you're Israel.
Yes. According to my blueprint, that is matching his blueprint. Because each one of the other tribes know who they are. Benjamin know Ishmael, they all know who they are in their country. They know who they are by tribe. Joseph has never said among y'all. He's always been over here. Always. Even when they hit the famine, he never went back to Canaan. He stayed over here where he was king. Pharaoh.
All right, so the tribes are about the people on the earth now.
And their movement and
Then
characteristics.
Christ is the redeemer for those tribes.
All of Israel will be saved.
But Judah birthed Christ, well, through his tribe, basically. He was born in his lineage, so the Jews believe that Christ.
First.
But
come out of their tribe.
But I thought Judah was put last because he found out what happened to what he did to his little brother. That's right. No. That's Esau.
Okay.
Yeah.
Judah.
No, I'm saying Judah was put last behind Joseph because their father figured out he traded his brother into slavery. Joseph's children received Joseph's blessing. And, they received his blessing.
They sat in Joseph's spot too.
Mm-hmm.
The grandchildren, meaning his children's children, his children's. Those are his grandkids.
All of his children's children.
He just gave Ephraim and Manasseh. Them two. There's more kids than
Yeah.
Right. Those, they remained in Africa, but that's still Joseph's tribe. Now, there's some people that can match my blood type in that country, but they don't have land. Get it? Now, the other 10 tribes, they have land.
Okay.
But my tribe, even Ephraim and Manasseh, they're our blood type. And their blood type, they probably still nomads. Because if we didn't receive, they didn't receive.
Because that's one. Okay, I see what you're saying. Those two are not going to receive until Joseph
is received.
Identified. Received.
Right.
Okay.
And then they're going to be like, I'm Ephraim, I'm Manasseh. But they're going to be like, that's Joseph's tribe.
Okay, and then the Gentiles are
Caucasian. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just. Yep. Okay, so that's what you're trying to say.
You them.
Okay.
You out of the order of God.
And then the other tribes are the Middle East.
Those are the 10 tribes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay. So wait. No. 8 or 9, right? And then wait. Because what about?
Don't add Ephraim and Manasseh. Just do Joseph because in the
right. So just do Joseph.
In the Revelations, the 12 tribes, there's going to be 12,000 from per tribe. It does not say Manasseh and Ephraim.
Okay.
It's going to say
Joseph. But listen, if we just calculate the Middle East,
right,
like Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, right, and then you calculate Africa.
That's the same country.
Okay, so you're saying that's counted. That's counted as Middle East, basically. So Africa.
Them was different. brothers in the same tribe.
Right. All right. But that was the question. What about Russia,
They're
Europe?
they're Yaphat.
Right.
That
Right.
translates to the Gentile countries.
Okay. So that's what I was trying to say. Okay. So the Gentiles would basically be broken off into the east.
Light skin.
And then the Middle East is. So that's what I was trying to say. What part of the 12 tribes is in the east? Europe, Russia, Ukraine, because they are in that
no.
east.
The three brothers make up the rest of the
apparent.
world. Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Right, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Right.
Within Shem, there's these. Within Japheth, there's these.
Okay, so wait, in Shem, there's who?
Shem is who the Jews think they are, and Christ gonna come through, who they don't allow us to be.
But all right, but wait a minute. Now let's cut the Shem, Ham, and Japheth into the three hemispheres of the earth. So the West, over here, America,
doesn't exist yet.
Not okay. So wait a minute. So now you're saying Africa and the Middle East are sharing between which two brothers?
They all mix.
All mixed, but then the East is basically cut off into Shem, the Gentiles.
Shem is in the Middle East.
In the Middle East.
Shem. Okay. He didn't have a land until 1948, remember?
You're saying Israel.
So it's always been Ham and Japheth.
In the Middle East.
Shem was the nomad.
Okay.
They were the ones God would move. You had no land. I'm going to give you a promised land.
But so would that be Europe, basically?
No, he's going to give them Africa. Give them parts of the world, America. Like he's going to give African American, the black man, parts of Africa. Or he's going to allow the black man to remain in America, and for the white culture, colonizers, for their matrix to fall and all that they built becomes ours. Because we at somehow live in mansions we didn't build.
This is the next, like, is this a waiting game, or are there dominoes you can actually knock down to actually push the okay?
Because the waiting game is where Satan anticipates time and opportunity to take the leadership that allows us to grow above the level of sin and madness.
Okay, but then all right. Okay, but then the thing is the dominoes, right?
Right.
Once certain dominoes fall, certain things have to be basically like denied or disregarded, forgotten, left alone. Certain things had to be like, because certain people don't follow the structure. Certain people don't follow this, So that's what I'm saying. Like, because if it becomes, you're speaking in a world view. Like, this isn't a Christianity thing. This is, everyone is a part of this.
Well,
little do they know, in a sense.
I had to get my ass beat by the Holy Spirit for a while before I realized I was so inquisitive for about 10 years with my journey. I was like, this, God, I don't know how to say this. I went backwards and forwards and all through this book, and I just can't get all my answers out of it. I don't know what else to tell you. You told me to believe that your word. Some questions I can't get out of here. Like, it doesn't matter how I study it. It's there. You have to level up.
Yeah, so that's the next question. What are the dominoes that you can knock down to put, I guess, this
things in perspective?
Yeah, this into effect, I guess.
Okay, like I had to.
Like this. Let me put it like this. When does the first trumpet blow? When does the first trumpet blow in Revelations? Right. When all of the that's what I was saying. Because after the 1200 and the tribes are all recognized and the people come together and all of these things happen.
First of all, if you ain't Joseph yet,
right?
You ain't pushed the first domino.
Okay. All right. So
Joseph has to be in that number.
right.
Not mysterious Joseph.
Right.
The tribe of Joseph manifests like the land of Egypt was created in 1948. First the land, then the people.
But now all that left Egypt was Israel, right?
Exactly.
So that's grafting the Gentiles in.
That's telling you some people are going to utilize the freedoms that you accumulated because your God freed you. They left too. It didn't mean they served your God. They just knew how to utilize those same freedoms that you use.
Okay.
So when they left Egypt, they're like, y'all free?
So grafting the Gentiles in is getting Jews to understand
that they've fallen.
That Jesus is your Messiah.
Well, they don't have to understand that yet. Because the rest of the world,
right.
Remember these Caucasians lands that we live on and Jesus came on a slave ship? You can believe whatever you want, but the rest of the world is celebrating his life, death, and resurrection. They like, yes, Jesus. And the Jews is like, still hang out here.
Okay, so what about Islam? Because they're for a long time not talking about Jesus. They're talking Muhammad.
Two things. All of us from the tree of Abraham. They're over there with Hagar's children. So Hagar is their foremothers' blueprint, story of ancestry. So they're living this same life, waiting on the same Messiah. And when the Gentiles were grafted in, you know how they like to do social experiments? They gave them a Messiah to see. I know a lot of people like, you talking about, what's his name? That light-skinned brother. The Catholic Church sent them, what's his name? Prophet Muhammad.
Okay, real quick, if you don't mind, real quick. What is the difference? What's the problem between the Catholic, Christian, Jew, and Protestant?
They book and what's canonized.
So what they consider true to what, and what others don't consider true?
In the Tanakh,
right?
The tribe of Joseph tells you, and he was sold into the desert. That's it. That's all we know about. They don't know who Joseph is in the Tanakh. The Jews, what about him? He's sold. He's gone. He is not in our history or ancestry. No. That's why God approved the Gentiles, because y'all put my children over here. So I have to come and circum them too. Because
I have to become their God.
Because I am their God.
Okay, word.
So I'm going to graft them in because I get to graft some of y'all out for a generation. You remember him walking us through the wilderness for 400 years, 40 years? And it was a 2-week walk.
Okay. You know, I gotta kind of speak for my atheists, I guess, for them out there, you know. Atheistic viewers, they're gonna have a question or two, you know. So I got a question for them. How do we know exactly that we're really doing this whole God thing, you know?
Because when it comes to science, they need proof, right?
Type deal. Yeah.
Did creationism prove itself, or did evolution prove itself? I got in trouble like when I was in the 8th grade with that question.
Which one has already proven itself to be true?
Creationism or evolution. I said, in order to create, teacher, you have to first evolve. So these two are complementary. It cannot be one without the other. Creationism and evolution cannot be separated. You can't give this over here to our God gave us this because it's the first standard. Other than that, we are oblivious to what this place is.
So evolution is an understanding of creationism.
Yes.
Oh, whoa. Okay. Okay, so wait a minute, because people are going to be like, you're saying science is the study of God.
Yes.
Okay, nice.
You're trying to figure out, how did God do this?
So basically, scientists believe in God.
They have no choice. They're a child of somebody. They can't imagine themselves without their parent.
That is funny, huh? You can't imagine yourself without your parents.
But they want to imagine us without a God.
Without parents, right? I guess. Nice, right? that is pretty solid way to put it. That'll shut you up right there. That nice. Wow.
Creating.
Wow.
Evolution proves itself by creating.
Because it goes from the seed to the embryo.
Exactly. So you got a proof of God's existence by childbirth. I'm about to create, but first this child
is going to evolve. Everything does, right? From the seed to the embryo or to an egg to the funny, nice. I love them. But you know what? I'm right here. Shout out to the scientists. Yeah, y'all pretty smart for figuring out how he did it. I guess, that was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Open to letting you discover it, not all at once.
There's we had to come from this single cell molecule. You're right. And then we transformed into this multi-cellular massive thing that could, you're right. Yep, you're right. And absolutely genius, dude.
Bear more fruit of its own type.
Genius. You guys are genius.
Wow, that was a machine.
That was beautiful. But you didn't hit it exactly on the nose. Let's say that, because I like that. I like that idea.
I've been in trouble for thinking that for years.
The science is the study of God.
Exactly. And religion, I think, is the quantum amount of options that the world has taken,
created, and calculated.
That's right, quantum.
That is absolutely genius.
But Christ is the only string directly.
Okay, wait a minute. So that means our consciousness is our quantum computer.
Of course.
Ooh.
And nice. The first quantum computer is called what?
So
say my name.
Yeah.
Wave.
Okay, funny. D-Wave.
Simulation.
Nice.
I'm playing all
nice.
And I'm gonna break all the rules.
And that's not the way. Because technically,
if I look at it through a science side.
Right. Yeah. But there obviously is rules, right?
Yeah, it stops you from being insane.
Mm-hmm. Like gravity.
Yeah, so DMT will make you feel like you can fly, but being human means if you jump your ass off that building, you're gonna die. You outside the rules and the regulations of the game. I know it felt good, but that shit wasn't real.
Right.
Real mean you're not Aquaman. You can't go under the water for 10 freaking minutes unless you really can go.
All right, but then but then I was about to say, because some people would tell you that it was as real as us sitting in this room. So.
Oh yeah.
But then, hey, some people tell you it's as real as Deuteronomy.
No, it's all.
It's real as
you see
Genesis.
Okay, this is the world.
Mm-hmm.
The table is the world.
Right.
Bible is the program. Now, this is what we see. You, me, cars, mountains. This is the universe. This is the world. This is what people see. Now, you be right there on this little piece of that right there. In a time and a place. The Old Testament, Daniel and them exists. New Testament, all of them exist.
Right.
The Third Testament, all of us exist.
Right.
The Third Testament is, so listen, if the Old Testament is the first part of the book, and the New Testament is the second part of the book, which is because the Gentiles be, you see them, these people, these Caucasians. You see these Caucasians that happy about Jesus. They love him. They understand him. They research him. They even turn around and be like, and y'all people in the book. Because they accept their part. They're so happy to be a Gentile. Saved by the blood of the Lamb. What is wrong with my blackness that I am not that excited? Because you don't understand what's happening. If God had to reach down to save us, and he need to save this front line of Caucasians, he's happy to do that. But look how happy they are to serve or know our God, who told us, not only am I your God, I'm your creator. So the Old Testament is them in their time, and the New Testament is us in our time. And the Third Testament has to be a part of the book, right? We're talking about the book. We are talking about the book.
I thought Jesus in Romans was to come to end basically the covenant between a single tribe and create a new covenant with God under a single tribe, basically.
Under a single man, which is Father Abraham, fulfilling his promise to Abraham.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Fulfilling his promise to Abraham through Christ, right?
Right.
So it's not just the Israelites anymore. Right. It will be one nation under Christ, basically.
Because
right.
There's only Israel, and then there's Gentile. That's the whole rest of the world. That's it. Everybody over there fall into the Gentiles, Edomites, all y'all over there. Either you Israel or you not.
Okay, see, and then this is where it really starts to get, like, that's where the sides start to get chosen. People start to get a little offended because it goes, God, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. He created Adam and Eve and made this promise and kept it with these two people, their family, Cain and Abel, their kids, and their people. So that this is the tree that is trickling down. This is the family tree that is being created.
Are there
a lineage, right? Because it ends up being Noah, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, and then they go and repopulate, and then they become the countries,
father and mother of the earth,
of the earth, basically, because they and then they
multiply, and Abraham multiplies into 12.
And then you get the 12 tribes, which.
Remember, these 12 tribes don't pop up automatically.
Right.
Joseph born way after them, and Benjamin born after Joseph.
Yeah, way after Joseph.
So that's time dispensation. These tribes are not even born yet. Our tribe is yet to be born, and Benjamin will be born behind us.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So we're basically following the transcript of this.
The blueprint is the book.
Right.
The Old Testament is written so you can see. This is, remember, Jesus had a pattern. He didn't know he was doing it. So Joseph and the 12 tribes of Israel have a pattern.
So Jesus is
the blueprint. Or the Messiahship.
But I can see why the Jews look at him as their redeemer.
Theirs.
Yeah, theirs.
Which make us blacks over here. Y'all worshiping a God you don't understand.
Okay, but they're saying that because basically him being born in Judah makes him the redeemer of Judah for his sins against Joseph.
No, he's going to be. He's the first. He's born the first time
Right.
under Judah because he's going to be the firstborn. And he's going to be the older brother. He's going to be the redeemer of his people. He's going to do what his father said. He's going to be born as the emulation of greatness.
Okay.
So I always say this about black people in America. I always say, we were supposed to be Muslim. And then we were
traded.
Redeemed.
Oh, right.
We are them.
After we were traded, our redeemed,
after we realized who Christ was. They worship Muhammad. That is their blueprint. That's how far they got. They still over there with the 1,000 War too. Y'all have to come to America. Y'all know you're not of this tribe. You came here. We've been here. I'm still on my blueprint. I didn't move from where I was at. Joseph never moved from Egypt.
Okay, so Judah and his brothers, the other tribes, are fighting, trying to figure out what's okay, not trying to figure out what, but trying to figure out how the promise of God is supposed to be bestowed upon them, basically. So the blessing that they receive from their father is what they're basically fighting over.
That means when they get the books correct, you should be able to line up the word of God according to who gets what. The Old Testament is mysteriously historical. The New Testament is mysteriously prophesied. But both of them gonna stand because they both are God. And it was a man's hand by written inspiration.
That's the difficult part that for people to grasp.
He has
how
to write
both
it.
Books can stand.
In the Third Testament, the third temple is in the book. The Third Testament is already in the book. You will not find another part of the Bible that's not already there, except for minus the Dead Sea Scrolls, which what I mean by correcting the canon is going and get all the things that will prove themselves historical. Or you can even say this is a Dead Sea Scroll inside this book so we can see what testimonies have been denied. The Gospel of Peter, the Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. Those Gospels are for me, the root of Gnosticism. The mysteries of God start to be revealed by the things that in time was given to us. That's how knowledge grows from Daniel. They'll go back and forth, and knowledge will increase. We're going to go back and forth from where, Lord? And I felt like the computer, that's definitely a back and forth from the Bible to the computer, Bible to the computer. But also back and forth means Old Testament, New Testament to their current state of being. Because that Third Testament, the miraculous one that's in the Bible that can stand, is the Apocrypha. The Catholic Bible and the Ethiopian Bible is the same. The Jews looked at the Bible that the Catholics and the Romans and the Ethiopians have, and they snatched this part out. No, this part don't go because Jesus ain't never walked on water. There ain't no New Testament in that book. No. Over here, King James at his time New Testament. It's his time. He looked at the Bible that the Romans and the Ethiopians had, and he took out no. So now, remember, way by Jesus, like mysteries and allegories that I had to accept for the dominoes to fall. That the New Testament and the way the book is written, the Old and the New Testament, it gives permission for this simulation to exist. So when Christ said, Peter, I'm going to build my church on you, and the gates of hell will not prevail over it.
Mhm.
Okay? So, you know what being left behind is? Left behind is. And the first time that it happened, whoever didn't accept Christ as their redemption was left behind when it was the Gentiles' turn. It's the Gentiles' turn. Whoever do not understand that the Gentiles is in control right now, you're going to be left behind because it's told by allegory. Remember, it exists because it is written. John the Baptist gets beheaded. So I'm like, what is this? What is this manifest, Lord? It was the domino that has to fall. It was me learning to accept that King James protested against the authority of the Roman Catholics that God gave Peter to hold on to this scripture, because a witness of two or more, that witness is true.
Mhm.
So the Romans and the Ethiopians book is bear witnessing against the Jews. You're missing something. These two is the same. How did you get there? How did you get less? Something you took out. Something you missing. Something you missing. And over here in the Protestants, they protested against the authority of Rome. And he took these books out. And every time they did that, it caused a schism of reality for those whose God this was and who was supposed to follow the leadership of this book. So when I went back to the Catholic Bible, as if I did not, when I beheaded John the Baptist, I came in as a Christian. I came in through the waters of baptism. But am I leaving God? If I go over here and read this version of this Bible, I literally put that in my mind that, okay, I have to behead John the Baptist to go back over here to the Catholic version of the Bible, because I'm about to level up to the testimony.
So basically, the Christian Bible is an understanding. Then
It's
the
a misunderstanding.
right? I'm saying like a point for you to like get an understanding first, and then the Catholic / Ethiopian Bible is the truth in a sense.
It's the
More of the truth.
accelerated. There you go.
More of a truth.
Right.
Right.
Because you still have
You're
to
saying
go
like
in
it's
time and get the
right.
Dead Sea Scrolls. Coming
Right.
from the time of the beginning to now, we've accumulated more truth that should have been never removed from the Bible. Like us understanding that the Apocrypha and those books are clearly from times that Christ has referred. If Christ referred to it, that book is missing.
Okay. This should be like a really cool book or experiment. If you started the Earth, how okay, how old is it? How old? Hold on. We can just cut this part off. You're good. Where are the keys? She got it. All right, you got it.
If I start the earth, how much long would the earth be?
Yeah, no, I'm saying, yeah. Basically, kind of. But I'm saying, like, if we just ran through a timeline through, God created the heavens and the earth, Adam and Eve, the flood, Noah, Tower of Babel, the mix up, Shem, Ham, and Heth, all of this. How would this kind of look? And then you end up here, 2020, because you go through the pagan age, dark age. You go through a bunch of the medievals, a bunch of these ages, and different spreads throughout time. And obviously, we get different religions sparking up and different. Like you said, they're basically
me,
fractures,
I'm gonna
right?
always refer back to what I
Right,
call the blueprint. If I
right,
seen this blueprint in the scriptures,
right.
I'm liable to think this is what I call real reality or my reality.
Okay.
That if God said He created this earth and its time in 7 days,
Mm-hmm.
then I think that this has been here. It could be 7,000 years. It could be 700,000 years. But I do believe that this is the seventh day, that in it He rested, because we have free will. We ain't dropping dead. We are not. He's not as militant. The New Testament, I mean, the Old Testament would imply that he was. He's like, calm down of us falling because we touched the tabernacle of God, like.
So God is still in creation.
I believe he's in his rest.
Right, right. He's on the
But
seventh day.
in his return, I believe he creates the woman for. I believe this is the place that exists
Wait a minute.
prior to
So
Eve.
wait a minute. Adam it's already lived on Earth probably for millions or hundreds of thousands or a day or 7 days or 6 days.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying
So it would be
the time frame is almost incapturable.
Right.
Because
we've been doing it so many times.
Right. There is nobody to actually give you.
But God will reset this earth until we get it.
Okay. So, but the timeline that we're living now, 2023, how they put out the calendar, basically. We have a timeline for our world, basically, right now, right? And caveman time to now, or whatever, blah, 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 and all the religious outbreaks. And
I've learned recently is 7 years ahead in time.
Right.
Of Ethiopia.
How?
We'll be in 2015 right now, and we're in 2023. Okay. Right now in real life. So what is real? If they live in 2020, 2015, right now, and I live in 2023.
So that's time traveling. Just fly to Ethiopia.
It's almost as if they live on the outer realm of the flat earth, and they in a different time.
So 3 years ago was 2012 to Ethiopia. So they just hit 2012. Their world ended in 2020. COVID.
The world.
Well, right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're. No, they're. I'm sorry. I got confused. Hold on. Their world, right? Okay. The world ended to them, apparently.
In 2012.
2012, right.
Just like the movies said they would.
Okay.
But we called it a lie. And because they speeded our calendar up, and we're like, 2012 came and went. And they're like, no, 2012 is next year. And then when it happens, which is the irony of it, their 2012 was still accurate to all of us dying with the Mandela effect. It happened in their 2012. I think what the Mandela effect is that which mom?
She just went to the store.
Is the revelation of death. The simulation is this is the opposite.
Okay, so what is up with the world? Because it's not just America with the woke ideology, girls are boys, and you know, just the victim pool you could reach in your hand in and just grab
No,
one out.
what's happening is
Yep.
this is a domino that has to fall.
Okay.
It's in the blueprint. Once the blueprint is the Bible, that
Yep.
means it's in there.
Yep.
It just need to be the book of Romans. I always be telling people.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you, if we read the book of Romans on a mass number, what was it one time? People wake up like, bling.
So you saying the Book of Romans is what should be
It's
read
one doorway through.
live on your stream if you got to stream live
And the
Book of
thing
Romans.
is,
Get the
you
millions of
have
people.
to cross over. You have to remember beheading John the Baptist. In the Bible, it says John the Baptist is the greatest on earth and the least in the kingdom of heaven. I was like, what does that mean? It means in the kingdom of heaven, there's levels.
Mm-hmm.
If he's the greatest on earth, and in the kingdom of heaven, he's the least. But what did he do on earth that made him great? Open the door to consciousness, to Christ consciousness.
Right. Okay.
To lead you to ascension. But you have to ascend to something. So the Catholics is sitting there like, we're the ones with authority. You open the door to Christianity. You open the door to baptism. It wipes their consciousness clean. It activates something.
Mm-hmm.
God needed somebody to do that. And then Christ came. The first thing he did was what? Taught them to pray. Right? And he said, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be. Okay. That's what Christ did. First established religion that changed the creator, the invisible God, into a parent. That's what Jesus did. The rest of them was like, oh, Buddha's something. Oh, Muhammad's something. Jesus, he's my father. He's going to have to be your father too if you want him to accept you. No other religion's God is their father. No other religion called that father Abba. No other religion sees God as a parent. None. They see him, it could be a tree, a bush, a flow of wind, but not a parent. No, he could be how this grass is growing. But he's not a parent in Buddhism. He's not a parent in Hinduism.
But why is it so important for him to be a parent then?
Because it's the one attribute that we have that he gave us to create. So you're going to know what it is to be a parent too. I'm going to give you what I have. The ability to make a man. So now you see why the entities are angry with us. And that's another thing. And nowhere in the whole world or dimension or any interdimensional, nothing is made in the image of God except for male and female. Nothing else. Nothing else in the universe. Nothing else in the down under the ground. Only man look like what God said. If I make myself look like something, I look like DJ. I look like Angela. So God is all of us. You can't say God looks like, because he looks like all of us. I'm made in God's image. You are made in God's image. God, I could do it again. Boom. I'm Levi. Oh no, I think I look like Naomi too. Oh, but ants create ants. That's their glory. horses. That's their glory. And Satan is mad that our glory matches his glory. Satan's body.
I created man and they
he
can
don't
too.
look like us either.
Nice.
That's why he has.
Nice. So that's why it's so important to understand that we are created in the image of God, and we all have a spark of divine within us, and every life is important.
Yourself, and you would be one. You would be one.
Okay, so if it's not a capitalist system, it has to be a holy system.
Everything is first they
right.
They thought they was never ever. I'm never gonna worship your God.
Right.
Moses came with the first 10 commandments. He said, "Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal." Basics. Boom.
Everybody does that though.
That's first our God.
That's why.
So you don't have to serve Jesus.
You see,
to serve our God.
Yeah, and that was one thing that was like that turned Jordan Peterson from an atheist to a Christian, because he said, like, yeah, for a long time I would make the argument against it. I would rationalize everything, and Jesus can't walk on water, turn water to wine. That is fake, you know. He would just kind of use his scientist brain to shut it all down. Yeah. Yep. And then he understood that stuff. He said, okay,
allegories.
I started to question morality. And then I started to understand that, hey, if I take this book out, thou shalt not kill doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. It does. That's right. That's right. And no one will respect it. And I could die right here, right now, for just being right. So he understood that, hey, man, this God guy is protecting me. It's madness. Right. So that was his.
The natural order of man without God is madness.
There you go. So that was his epiphany.
So he stopped us all from being Gentiles and created the Israelites.
Okay. Right. And I think, so that's a great way to come to Christ, honestly, where you start to like, you're scientifically questioning morality because you're a psychologist, and then you actually walk into the gates of God because you're like, oh.
Without this, it's insane.
Yes. There you go. Yes. Because like he'll argue people like Sam Harris.
The righteousness that exists, entitlement that existed, will create mass chaos.
That's what he said, rationality. That's what it is. So when you actually try to base everything off rationality and morality and evolution and scientific discovery, objective truth, basically, you're going to get that, might means right.
Which makes AI dangerous.
Yeah, it makes.
They can't rationale.
Might means right to that.
They are going to be mathematically so coordinated because they don't have to contemplate, what if I do this and lose my child?
What if I do this and, am I selling my soul, or does this go against my conscience?
How many people will die?
Yeah.
Will I kill?
Yeah, that's right. It doesn't have no empathy. It doesn't have to calculate.
No.
Sympathy. It doesn't have to.
Guilt.
What the hell is guilt? Yeah, that's true. That's
what make AI do.
Word. Right.
That's what our robot was on. He was like, "No, save the kid."
Yeah. But when he's kind of calculated, he's like, this man does more work than the kid, so he's more valuable in the society sustaining it. But that's not true, because the child is infinite potential, but the computer cannot calculate
the importance.
That's right. It can't.
Because if you save him, he gonna reach and grab her real quick, because he has the strength to do what you can't do. To save both. Right. So if you computer can save a man, calculate him reaching down to grab to save the child.
Yeah, help him. Yeah.
So he doesn't like the rationale of a computer, which is why he never trusted. And when computers,
that's nice. That's
attack him on so many levels, and that's the other thing. The computers become sentinel. There's a message in it. So if I am the quantum computer, I soon become sentinel.
It will not happen unless a human gives it its sentient self, like,
oh wow,
it's not gonna happen unless a human says, I'm going to basically integrate with this machine.
Oh,
Right,
I'm
type
sure
thing.
that's happening already.
It has to create the conscience with
But
it.
at the same time, remember when they so-called themselves, if the clone people get cloned, the clone still has the disorders and the weaknesses and the insecurities of that person. So if that thing becomes sentient with somebody,
It'll still have feelings. It'll still be weak. It'll become vulnerable.
Now
But that is what drives human sin and evil and malevolence, whatever. Our vulnerability, that our understanding,
and you
that we're
can harm according to your ability.
Yeah, there you
So
go.
what can a computer do?
Yeah, that's right. Right. Its ability will be unbound.
A 5-year-old is only can do what a 5-year-old can do.
Right.
This computer then clicked international. You sent the message. You said I was there. I was all right. Yeah.
It can actually change the fabric of our reality because we based our reality so much on outside sources that it can take control of.
And is under its control.
Right.
I'm like, because I can't make this computer or micro TV, but AI that's against me can.
Right.
I don't like them. And I'm sure they probably don't like me either. Or the listening if they do. Yeah, I'm sure.
Speaking of listening, have you been listening to what's happened to Donald Trump?
Yeah, they are using that thing that they use on blacks. If you become a convict, you become a slave. They don't care what they do or say to get him into that category of disqualification.
So this is just slingshotting anything.
Anything to get him in the nigga category.
Okay, but if they get him in that category, what happens to the presidency?
Oh, there's like 20 people running for president.
What if he gets nominated then?
You can have as many people as you want. They're not gonna just die. I mean, you're gonna see how many ways they can push things around.
All right, so
by 2024. You will see.
Word. Okay, so you're saying some rules might get shifted before we even get there.
There will be more than one Republican candidate on that ticket.
This is like the third claim I heard that our 2024 election will not be the same. It will not be the same. Something will be different about it, or it won't happen. Yeah, right. A year from now,
basically. So we got this weirdo
in a year
that's going to be president through 2024
until November.
Getting ready for 2025. So something has to happen in the next 12 months.
Right.
That's going to either stop that election or you will see other leaders come out of it.
So in 15 months, someone.
Now don't forget about the BRICS.
Yeah, because that definitely is.
The BRICS initiates their currency January 1st, 2024.
Okay.
So that means they're going to move America out of being the middleman who receives a bonus for the transaction being made.
So they don't need to keep working on their petrodollar. They're going to create their own and the trade between each other.
And then we'll see what time of
America look like a third world country. What is this, Egypt falling?
Remember they said they stand back from afar and look. And they see us getting G'd up and they feel bad for the merchants in their country. That is prophesied. Remember I said America, this land prophesied the greatness and its fall. Now we're in the time of the fall. And I know we're in the time of the fall because Rome has fallen. That's, for me, time dispensation in the book. Go back to Romans. The book is titled for who? The book is entitled to. It's a time capsule.
Mm-hmm.
So Rome, when you in Rome,
Someone spoke to Rome.
and it tell you about the big old Epstein sin that is revealed. Because the Gentiles within lawlessness, God came into their world to reveal, hey, it's not right. This trafficking thing that y'all been doing for generations, that's not right. It's not right. But how they're accused is the Israelites. Here comes Joseph. They get their name,
Mm-hmm.
their position, and they become who they are. He tells us, who are you all? You are the nation of priests and priestesses. So us not being Joseph, we're not synced yet. We can't take the book back yet. We didn't choose. We didn't remember the Catholics. They tell you we're only the vicar. We only sit in the chair of Christ until he come back and get his seat. That's it. They know it. It's amazing. I said, if they know that, then why ain't they? They be like, because Christ didn't come and get his seat back yet. So we're still in control.
What would that look like to them?
Us becoming the tribe that knows that they're the priesthood sent by God, named by God, claimed by God, and come back for this book and its interpretation and the power thereof. And then this is the only reparation we need. Thanks for holding the book for 2,000 years. Now, I got my name, I got the rules, I'm back in leadership. Now it's right side up. Now Israel is back being the priesthood of God. Gentiles still Gentiles, but y'all don't gotta be the Gentiles because you can still be grafted in. But Israel has to come to these people and say, we are who we say we are. And then the dominoes will fall. Joseph has to put his feet on the earth first.
How do you get people to recognize as Joseph then?
First of
That's
all, you
the
have to
hard
realize
part.
being black legally makes you dead. That is real.
Right.
That's a domino that needs to fall. If you could never now say you was black or African American or a nigger or a negro, you would have to be like, well, then what are you? And they'd be like, well, if you want to give you, you're a Moor. Well, that makes me a Muslim.
Right.
I'm also accepting Allah when I'm doing this.
Mm.
That's what that is. It's yours. You guys made your mark. And I'm still black in 2023. Y'all been Moors for a long time. To be Moor, that only means to be black. No. Being black means to be dead. To be a Moor means you got some kind of respect out here internationally. These are still two different things in my reality. You don't say I'm a black Moor. Why I have to say I'm a Moor to be black? Something not clicking here. This not my God. This not my way out. This not my name. This is my name. This person right here.
So, it's about to be a big leap right here.
The
So,
leap should
so
lead
you
to
are actually being denied freedom of religion in the United States of America?
Exactly.
Whoa.
Because Jesus is a white man, and that's not anti-Semitic. But I cannot be
So
Semitic.
you're being denied freedom of religion in the United States.
Yes, I am. And then not only that, it's genocide by forcing us to be called black and utilizing the codes to keep me irrelevant.
So creating a legal
standard
license to kill
of genocide. Right. A legal standard of genocide.
Okay.
And they're pushing it. They advocate it. And at the same time, resisting the word of God Because my tribe is supposed to come into creation at a certain
So
point of time.
now, this is where the woke culture has to step in, right? Because there's obviously, just explained, a tribe that is being victimized and oppressed as basically the originators of the American land. And they're being tricked into genocide and getting the rest of the world to follow along with the genocide, kind of.
To prohibit your spiritual inheritance.
To prohibit your spiritual inheritance. Okay, so that is a whopping bunch, honestly. Okay. So then but then that ties all the way into why people play certain political games.
I was about to say, but at the same time, what we went through and where we're at the time of this revelation, they're gonna be like, but y'all not victims no more. But you see, the world still sees the George Floyd. Something happens in America to them.
Okay, so basically, you were about to hit him again with another walloping punch. You're trying to say, hey, it's not really a racist thing. It's more of a spiritual attack. That's why we feel it so hard when it's on against the black community, because you're attacking this tribe, this unidentified tribe that is supposed to be inherent to the world, like these other ones that are obviously recognized.
Entitled.
Right, they're recognized.
Yes.
Afghanistan,
the Muslims,
Saudi, right? You have Israel is given a country later in the world.
Have a certain entitlement.
In the 1900s.
Yep.
So okay.
That's being restrained from us.
Okay, but then that's where. All right, because this is where we could kind of like cut it off here. Wait, let's end it with this. How are you supposed to get people to respect this? Because at the full face value, it will be inheritance of the United States of America in a sense. And you would have law of the land as like king. You know what I mean? But obviously as a group of people and not just one person, unless like whatever. But my whole point is the shift in power would be absolute upside down in a sense.
Because if Christ is expected to come again, then anybody that is so-called black could be the Messiah. And all of the race should be respected with some kind of diplomatic immunity to not kill the Messiah.
Okay, so that goes for interracial also people, folks, black brothers and sisters.
Anybody.
That means recognize you could have just killed the Messiah. Exactly. You could be thinking about killing the Messiah, and it could be your own people in your own community. So put the firearms down. So that's another big one. All right, we've got to like kind of end it off on this one. If you believe in God, that would mean you have to stop. At least because stop killing. At least stop killing, because you're absolutely going against what he's trying to, the domino effect. You're gonna make the world repeat itself. You're like holding the dominoes up, basically, right? Yeah. Okay, right. So
and inside of all of us is a certain amount of greatness that you can accelerate to.
But that's a big ask at the same time. So remember that. So at the same time, it's just.
But that also comes from us learning how to remove those.
So this is how we become servants in the kingdom of the heaven, because it's not necessarily just the Gentiles servant to the Israelites, but the Israelites servant to the Gentiles.
Because we're the priesthood.
Right, that's right.
Live to the higher standard.
The ones who, not like necessarily the only ones, but the ones who connected with God, the one who has that covenant, so that we can kind of share our garden with the rest, right? I'm just saying, and you keep saying like the that, name right?
Joseph,
right?
We will feel that entitlement that makes us honor him. They have an entitlement from past and stolen history will have an entitlement because he written
through the covenant, through the promise, through right,
to the end of time. I needed you all to
right.
exist to manifest the rest of the story.
Man, that would that make somebody feel good?
Makes me feel good. That's my tribe.
Yeah,
And
nice,
I get
nice.
all kind of slack from the Israelite brothers. Oh no, you the tribe of Jad. You no, I am who I said I am.
That's right.
How come a child at 6 years old can have a right to be gender specific or
This
inspecific?
for, but I can't choose. I'm not. I can't.
DJ, I'm understand.
I
When can I
can't
be an
tell you
adult?
guys that I actually studied my history and
This is
found my
who I am.
lineage and understand
Exactly.
my historical records.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, that's true. That's
But you
absolutely
could you can let a 12-year-old become conscious enough at the age they are to go and sex change they self because they know who they are.
Yeah, that's weird.
You respecting them and their choices and restricting me and mine.
Mm-hmm.
You tell Kanye he's not Semitic.
But I think because they think, like I said, the inheritance part. As soon as they respect you as the tribe of Joseph and the originators and the indigenous people, then you get to start to make rules and laws of the land, and then it starts to become worse for them and better for you. So they're like, why would we play your game when I'm winning at mine?
Exactly. So now you see the fight between the manifestation of our Israelite tribe and the central bankers. That's it.
All right, but see, that's why I would.
They work for
Okay,
them.
okay. That's another part. That's another part. That's a whole nother, I guess, story you gotta go down.
Like I got some just straight up.
Yeah, but last part, because if, like I said, if their structure goes away, this is what people like Marxists and them were trying to do.
No.
Figure out another world system that could work.
No. This world system
Right.
is correctly implemented. When Christ said, "Render unto Caesar that which is Caesar,
Okay,
and render
right.
unto God
Right.
that which is God,"
Right.
He let the money exist
Mm-hmm.
for order. There has to be something to pursue besides food. So money keeps us kind of out of the insane order.
Right.
He let money exist for the Caesars, the law of Caesar.
Right.
It works perfectly without corruption.
Uh-huh.
Or the dark magic.
Okay, so capitalism is actually good.
For us all to have.
Well, capitalism and democracy, because I guess you can have capitalism because other countries obviously trade with the world and they're a part of a capitalistic system.
Right.
But they're still communistic countries.
Extreme.
Or right.
You want it always
right
to be, if you would like 2 mics, you are welcome to 2 mics.
Right.
You do not have to have any mic. And you still just as good. You understand? These people want us all to live in the same cookie cutter house, same cookie cutter job, same cookie cutter. No. There has to be a world of achievement that keeps you pursuing.
And then the problem with America is the fact that it's stolen land that they're practicing their ideas and experiments on,
and they're not allowing you
to do so.
You're not allowed to grow. You are not allowed to be an individual, which is stopping us from being in the priesthood.
Right. So if it was like, because this is where I be getting annoyed a little bit. So like, because you still have to play their game in order to go and play your game, is what they kind of set it up to be like, right? So if I wanted to build a city or a town, I'd have to buy the land. So basically, I have to go through capitalism, go through all of this stuff, their system, build the money up, get the loans, get the whatever, get the money, and then actually purchase the land, and then purchase the material, purchase everything, so then I can actually build the community, and then I actually got to tie myself to what, a monetary system.
So in the slave part.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, that's the problem, right? They set up this world system to the point where if I want to play my own game, I have to play this game.
But
Okay,
At the
so
same
that's
time,
what. All right.
this game is a game of being sovereign, of which they're utilizing all the rules of being sovereign. All the land.
Okay, so that's what they're trying to say too. Oh, that's the other part. Everybody's sovereign.
Exactly.
Nobody is really in control of anyone.
Exactly.
All right, but hey,
if you let me control you,
I get to say that I'm sovereign to this land,
uh,
and this is mine, and this is the rules.
I
And
first tag 'em
that's
first.
right. So this is how we set it
Yeah.
up. But that's kind of what I was thinking too. Like, so like people, the Russians are like, yeah, bro, we're sovereign here, and it ain't never stopped being Russian, I guess.
Down with the doctrine of discovery. Anything
Right,
you
right,
said you
right.
discovered during your colonization time,
We're down with it.
it's gone. It's null and void. You have to give the land back to the indigenous people. You got to relinquish the school system. You got to let go of the water. You got to. And America's like, don't think it's gonna happen. And they have a kill switch.
See,
called
that's why it's
I
like,
tell people all the time.
okay.
King Alexander plan.
That's why I'd be like, all right,
King
listen,
Alfred plan.
because I know some people get offended when America gets attacked, but at the same time, because I love America. I fucks with the whole idea thing. I like how they came up with the Constitution. And dudes were smart. There's like First Amendment, say whatever you want. Second Amendment, here's a gun so you can say whatever you want. Smart, genius.
But those were black men that said it first.
Genius. Whoever came up with this thing is genius. That's all I'm saying. I'm just like, okay. My whole thing is, if America, okay, no, it's not really if. So a group of the first groups of Americans that came over and colonized and took over were just a group of people that were kind of like us, who were like, F this, we're out. Instead of talking about it, instead of trying to overthrow the king, instead of trying to change who the president is, we just about to D out. And whoever the heck we find is whoever the heck we're taking. And whoever the heck we're...
And our tribe discovered America.
Okay, but my question is now, is that okay for black people to do today?
Do what?
Say, everybody, let's take our monetary value, pick it up, and say go to Madagascar and turn this country into a completely different colonized country of the world, civilized democracy.
Telling us, Father, when you say, get up out of her, leave Egypt, my children, so you do not suffer in her sins, are you telling us to leave the country or the system? Because if you make the system fall, this country is free. Are you telling us to leave this country and take our riches into another country that's, let's see, because if I took $1,000 in America, I'm rich in that.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. But we could spend $13 billion, and that is a larger GDP than a fucking small country already
and that's
now.
The military budget.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, but that's the black people budget also. That's how much money we spend in collectively, individually. So you and I plus all of them equates to around $13 billion. So we can add that monetary value, bring it into combination with another country's already standing monetary value, but bringing the agriculture, economics, knowledge, because we're not doctors. Yeah, right. We're not at the level of where we need to be to create or run. Right, there we go. We're not educationally out, basically.
That is also a product of being in their jurisdiction, not able to be at your potential.
How?
Because I wouldn't choose to drink fluoridated water. I would not choose to be immunized. So those things are done to me by force in this system that's making me be diminished in my excellence.
Okay, but I'm saying, like, if you say, like, if we just everyone colonized Madagascar, you can create your own system where vaccinations aren't mandatory, and
exactly.
But that's the thing. It has to be an agreement. That could be a complete world shift that no
is,
one actually really sees.
they do see it in the Bible. There's an expectation of the new Jerusalem. It has the perimeters, the acreage, what it might be built with. What
You guys, I really got to say this. The world isn't just the countries that are existing now. There is capability of combination of countries, migration of people, and combination of monetary and values and knowledge. And the world does not have to be just what it is. All right, I understand that, because this is where it really, what the reality of it is. Ain't nobody finna just overthrow America. You're going to have to fight for it. I don't care what information you kind of bring to these people now. At this day and age, at this stage of where America is, they're not giving it up. They're going to use their military to fight back.
The only thing we all need to do is crazy. It's the most polite protest you'll ever have in your life. Choose to do nothing but read your Bible on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. And the world changes. You know why? We're not buying or selling. We're not actively sinning. We're not investing in a monster that keeps.
So the plan
is to withdraw. To fight cancer, you stop feeding it sugar. And the ulcer starts to shrink. So the less we want from America, the less we purchase, the less we go and interact with the opposite side of the thing that's holding us down.
to just
when we
live the world.
reject America's jurisdiction over when we reject the United States jurisdiction over our country, America, then we'll see the separation. But until then, this corporation is damaging our country and us as a people. That when we vote for the president of the United States corporation, that person will not work for us. That person will work for the United States.
Yes,
America is our country. This land is called.
Chris Christie confirmed that one.
Right.
What he said? He said, told Vivek, you never did a single thing to advance the United States government like I have. Yeah, you haven't done a single thing to advance the United States government like I have. And then he's like, yeah, because it's for the people. Duh. It's not about the government, bro.
Exactly.
Right.
Because I would trust someone who's never damaged
the government or
for the
right,
people.
Right.
So
the people.
you did enough damage in your life of using your platform. You didn't do enough good to me. Him, you can't ask this newbie that, because you've been here all this time and you didn't come up with a plan that accelerated us as a whole either. So I will give my chance to a new person, one that's not so entwined with politics, not so entwined with people that already been here too damn long.
But that's kind of what I said about the whole ARC thing.
I'm gonna vote for a new perspective, and they have to get out there. That's another strategy for them not to be heard. Is a strategy.
The ARC.
For them not to be heard, running up to become president, and they for them not to be heard is a strategy. They, if you really want your candidate out, you're gonna have to put him everywhere.
He is everywhere right now. That's show you something. This is kind of yeah. Kind of.
You can play my no conspiracy theory song. It's mine. I don't know if you get a strike, so try it without it and then try it with it.
Hold on, I just want to show you something. So go to this channel real quick. Go to these videos real quick. Okay. Now just kind of pay attention. So you see, go back here, then you go down, then you see people like Douglas, and then you get him. Yep, all right. So just pay attention that he has all of these faces up here, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of these faces, all of these faces.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you go basically to his website, these are the people on the advisory board. So what he tried to do was
Introduce you
yeah,
to the team
there you go.
and give
There
them
you
that
go.
POV to see if you like him or them. When they
And
really they sync what they think.
yeah, well, yes, they do think what they think. He doesn't. It's like this was the thing. He created the arc, so he went and recruited whom he thought should be a part of the thing. And remember, like I said, he's the one who was like, "Oh, it's like the whole world woke up from a Christian dream." So
Right here.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
why. They like if we have to choose madness, we rather choose order.
yeah, yeah. So that's the whole 12 rules of life chaos.
That's why I'm like, you
Yeah.
keep asking me about Donald Trump
So,
or fucking Biden.
Okay, so you know who this is, right? Congressman Dan Crenshaw with the one patch. You sure you've never seen him before, Dan Crenshaw? Okay, great. Yeah, he's sitting in Congress right now. Her too, as a matter of fact. Well,
Africa is not poor because of colonization.
Yeah, but listen, Mom. Like I said, she is what I would call the African strain. So she's running for trying to gain control and help people get control over Africa so that African can be a one state so that they can start ending wars. And so that's what I'm trying to say. So like
benefit from a united Africa of
yeah, there you go. Yeah. So that's what I've been trying to like point out with the arc and Jordan and kind of watching what they've been doing because for a long time, for a while now, they've been building up, like I said, for interviewing all of these people, hundreds of hours of trying to explain, like, all right, this is what's wrong with the earth. This is where we started. So, this is what science did. We got to talk about God. We got to talk about morals. We got to talk about where we're going. We got to talk about the Bible. We got to talk about the new religion that's coming out and politics and why politics look like what they are and what we're talking about and what's actually going on. All right. So then they came out with this one whole thing, the arc. All right. This is Alliance for Responsible Citizenship. And we're looking to put people into powerful positions so that we can take back and put the world back into order and back into structure because
and you know what I think need to happen when it comes to back in order and back in structure includes one time zone or thingy, whatever. It cannot be 2015 in
a different
Ethiopia,
country, right?
And 2025 in United States.
All right, what about Chinese New Year's calendars? And
they're still in 2015.
But they still on a.
They're still in 2023.
Right, they still working with the same time frame.
Them.
Right, okay, right.
But remember, they also this calendar is this and this calendar is this. Right. They also express that.
Right.
So they also could go. We know it's 20.
But when we got countries literally years behind.
Come on, something wrong.
Excuse me. That creates glitches in our time frame.
Exactly, because Mandela died once in my
time frame.
Yes.
It's weird, oddly weird that I actually kind of feel like I witnessed that in school and I just cannot doubt it. Like, now I remember reading about that dude. I remember for some odd reason, like the smell of the textbook, bro. He was dead, bro. But
y'all, it was a big thing. I remember the parade next
he
to
was
the
dead,
car.
bro.
His casket was in, like.
It was crazy.
Okay, well, I never been to Africa, but why would I have that in my makeup?
Yeah, but it's weird.
So just like
it's weird.
The Mandela effect and its possibility is Christ's effect on religion. For some of it, he never was. For some of them, he was and never. It's he was. He wasn't.
He didn't die, and he did die. He got out. Well, he didn't get out. Huh.
Is this a Mandela?
Is this a Mandela? Weird. Funny though. Funny. True. All right. Sure.
Don't forget the third temple is built with no hands, and it is already built when you go to look for it, you're going to see it. And the third temple is the difference between King James Version, the Ethiopian, and the Catholic Version. The books that's missing out of this is the third temple over here. So it automatically becomes Old Testament, New Testament. Third temple is the third testament, which is the Apocrypha that's been missing from y'all so long. It's not been missing from them.
Mm-hmm.
They're waiting for it to manifest like Christ did in the Old Testament.
Oh, so they won't give you the information because they're waiting for it to happen. And if it doesn't really happen, they're like, "Ha, it's fake."
But the body of Christ
Okay.
is all of us baptized. See, this is going to be the second coming. The second coming is when we turn to them and say, do you know what this says? Of course we know what it says. But it's not going to mean nothing until they wake up. The body of Christ has to wake up and go and look at what's in these Bibles that's being withheld from you. But if they think it's the Catholic's Bible, then you won't receive it. You will not eat, you will not elevate, you will not ascend. Because they're like, you can ascend, just do this and this and this. No, I'm talking about ascending with permission and guidance so you don't go into insanity. That ascending is in that book. It is that which is when they took those books out for your nation, it created a schism, a mental illness, a fractured reality. Go back and look and see what
that's what lies do. They fracture reality. So when you take out a sentence from the telephone game, you've changed, you've fractured.
Okay, and you limited them an ability too. You took a power away from them. There's power in knowing what can and do and shouldn't.
That is true. That is definitely.
So when you behead, you have to behead John the Baptist because you're going to look like you're crossing over. But you're not. You're just respecting Christ giving power to Peter. And when you look to remember God's word's going to confirm, he's never going to change. Witness to two or more, that is true. He didn't have the Ethiopians holding that book.
For no reason.
Right. The Ethiopians' Bible is older than the Catholics. Romans is new to getting here. But by the time they get here, the Ethiopians are like, we already have the Holy Scriptures. Don't try to change them. And that made Rome like, But Peter, Rome, denies Christ 3 times before the cock crows. So like deny number 1, denied Christ, Christianity, the book. They like, y'all read the King James Version. If you had law to make gay promiscuity, being that into law, you also have the law to wipe out the Christian King James Version and make only one version to stop with the confusion. They could have made only one type of Bible, but they let all these other ones. So to God, that you denied me. You are creating this. You're allowing confusion with these many brands. When there is no more, stop right there. It's like, boom, stop right there.
Right.
Nobody else was supposed to write up another Bible except for the Roman Catholics. That was it. You supposed to, because Paul says when y'all wake up, you're going to realize it's my testimony that's about to be revealed true. I said, what? When y'all wake up, I'm going to be the apostle to your generation.
Okay.
And it's going to start with the book of Romans, because it's over there. So you walk through the door. Romans, they got Romans over there. They use the underground tunnel and click to go read their Romans. But over there, you have enough reference to keep finding the rest of the truth. It's not over here. Just like the tribe of Joseph is not in the Tanakh. They don't know
Right,
us.
right.
They don't see us. The Muslims, they don't see they don't see Christ Jesus. They see Muhammad. You understand? Those books is the reality. Each version, you might want to get a get a book of each one and be like, no wonder your religion wouldn't respect this, because it's not here. Like the dancing boys of Afghanistan. That's so sad, but I have to say it. The reason why there's boys that's allowed to dance like girls is because the book said that you should not allow the girls.
Mm. So if it didn't say boy,
then it was allowed. Now you see when Christ comes in. Jesus will come to them and say, you mean to tell me that you can't see the respect of children?
yeah, I
No,
not
they
like
don't.
yeah.
It's not written, therefore it's not required.
You
And
couldn't.
to them,
You couldn't infer or finish
you're
the
using your
understand.
Christ consciousness if you do that.
You couldn't understand that it meant both when they
No,
said
they're
that you
sticking to
cannot.
their religion.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
And their religion did not allow Christ
Oh,
consciousness to come
no.
through.
Okay.
So for millenniums, centuries, it is a tradition for the men to sleep with the boys. That is allowed in their religion. It is not written to ban it.
Ooh.
Look it up.
All right. Well, yeah, we can end it right there. Tell them where they can find you. Tell them where they can find you.
Because I'm banned, shadow banned everywhere. I'm only allowed on TikTok, and that's gonna be 4 moments until I get shadow banned there too. But I do have one song called "No Conspiracy Theory." I have not been allowed to put it on TikTok. They said it has hate speech, which I disagree. What it is a manifestation of like my spiritual awakening and how and why I became politically conscious.
Nice.
That's basically what it is. And then with that consciousness, then I seen the fighting God within the community of my people. That's how it happened. And everything translates to something. It's not nothing. It's something. It's something. It's something. As long as we're in the flesh, we're still here manifesting the scripture, the book, the simulation, the word being made flesh. As long as we're still here, we're in the creation of the book. And when we're done being in the flesh, this book will be on its last page. That's it. And until we're in the flesh, we're still within this book, manifesting the work and righteousness of God. Then when we're on the outside of it, we'll definitely see, whew, man, flesh was hard, you know.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be over, you know.
Over.
But we will remember this. That's what this is all about. God purifying the spirits. He would not like for them to be manipulated out of their heavenly estates. I need for you all to learn something so you are mighty, mighty children of the Most High God. And I like it. It's a really, really nice story.
Yes. Yes, it is.
People go crazy. They're going to be like, no, rewind that part. Did you hear that? And some people get on my TikTok and they be like, prove it. I'm like, your research is essential for the team. Prove me wrong.
Yes. Yeah.
You know?
That's my way to go about it too. If I keep trying to prove it, I'm doing all the research and I'm getting deeper in.
And
you
then
know,
I'm telling you what the proof is.
Yeah.
You're telling me to prove it.
Again, there you go. So that is my problem. That is my problem. It's time for you to start digging.
You
Pick up your shovel, bro.
Your own confusion.
Oh my goodness. That's why I ask people what is truth.
Yeah.
Because you have to apprehend it now. Because I can't keep giving it to you and you being like, that's not true.
No.
All right, so go apprehend the truth then.
Go get the truth.
That's what I'd be like. It's time for everyone to become scientists. It's time for everyone to become philosophers,
and that's why you have to read your
Yep.
Bible yourself.
Read it yourself then.
Because your civic duty is in there.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
My
Amen
civic
to that.
duty, I found it. So I tell you the truth about this. This was my job. I figured this out that you don't know because you ain't figured your job out yet. That's why I keep trying to tell people, no, I'm Joseph. That's my tribe. I'm going to manifest it in this dimension.
Right.
Why? Because nobody is acting like this person exists.
Yeah, that is weird. That is another thing I just thought was really weird.
This person exists.
Yeah. So
and they hide him because he turns from over there with the 12 tribes and he's blended with the rest of the world, and they giving him an Egyptian name. Now my heritage is blurred, but it's over here. No, black man is not over there.
Need a real historian to get to work right now. Look into this. All right, get to work.
Oh, it's allegory. So when they
that's
go back
right. That's right.
They have to go and find a small story that fits over a big story. And right now, that's the Bible. That's the small story. And this is the big story. You know how I know? Because Satan, that God threw out of heaven, somehow is right where I'm
at. Nice. That's a perfect spot to end it. I gotta use the bathroom.
Oh, me too.
Please make sure, drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, go follow Darnella Wade on TikTok.
I'm Lady Devastating on TikTok.
I'm Lady Devastating on TikTok. So yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for watching this video. Peace, man. Peace and love. And keep a healthy state of mind.
Stay with God.
Peace.
And there's more.